Respect. Welcome back to Smitty's Corner. So, what we're going to do is we are going to take our time and we're going to listen to this. This is such a sad story. At the same time, it's very mind boggling to me. But at the same time, I can't help but to say I'm really not surprised at anything I hear in this day and age. So, we're going to start this off with condolences to the family members and anybody who has been affected by this, and primarily, first and foremost, any children who have been affected. They come first. And with that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. Let's listen to what they say about divesting gone wrong.
Divesting gone wrong. Alisha Brookes didn't practice what she preached. Alisha Brookes was a domestic violence advocate who ignored all warning signs and chose to date a man based on how white his skin was. White skin covers a multitude of sins and got cooked. Take
Do you all believe that possibly, because see, I don't have that much information, maybe I'll do a part two. Is it really that she was looking for a better life with a lighter skin, or is it possibly that, maybe that's just where she found love? Sometimes it just happens that way, right? So I'm just saying that to say I do recognize both ends of this. There are people who divest because they swear up and down another culture is much better than theirs. They probably don't even think that their own have a culture. We all know these things. Simultaneously, there are people who just so happen to, for whatever career, school, work, whatever circumstances, proximity of living, that people can find somebody and fall in love, right? So let's keep on rocking out. You let me know what you think in the comments section. I digress. My mic is muted. Let's go.
listen.
There is a flower memorial that has now been started here outside the halfway house where Alisha Brookes was fatally shot on Sunday night. The accused, her boyfriend, was out on statutory release, and as part of that release, a condition was that he live here at this halfway house to mitigate his risk to reoffend.
He shot her in front of the halfway house. Now, again, this is why I was asking the question to myself earlier, which I will introduce now. Is it really that her bad decisions is what failed her, or is it that the system failed her? Now, mind you, they said he shot her in front of the halfway house. He's in that halfway house. He has that in the halfway house, and nobody detected or sensed anything. Now, mind you, I've been in a halfway. I'm aware things can get by. I'm hip. You can work your magic. If you can work your magic in a prison, you can work your magic in a halfway house. So I am one who is aware of that. But honestly, looking at it, because I don't want to take the distraction. I don't want to make a distraction and take the eyes off of what's really being asked. Did the system fail her, or did her lack of discernment and bad choices fail her? Let's keep on rocking out.
Outside a halfway house on Jones Avenue, where Alisha Brookes was shot to death Sunday night, friends and family paid tribute to the 34-year-old woman killed allegedly at the hands of her boyfriend. 33-year-old Aaron Shea is now charged with first-degree murder. Global News has learned Shea was released from prison 4 months ago on statutory release after serving 2/3 of a 3-year and 1-month sentence. As a condition of that release, Shea was ordered to reside at the halfway house, where he was being supervised in the community. Brooks' cousin, Terrell Clark, says she had a teenage daughter and was an advocate for children and youth in foster care after spending time in foster care herself.
She kind of like,
Wow. Someone who came from foster care, someone who actually has gone through this. I just wonder, like, I wonder what went through her mind, or what was the process of, while you're up there, wherever you are, wherever you tour, you're speaking, you're talking to people, you're making an actual real life impact in the community. I wonder what was that like when all of that was done. Everybody's gone after the hugs and coffee breaks and everything else. Oh, girl, you're so great. And she goes back to her car and that door closes and she picks her phone up and calls the very DEVIL that she is warning all these other women to stay away from. How does that process even begin to work? I will never be able to fathom it. Maybe somebody can let me know. And with that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. Let's keep on rocking out.
Say people? Honestly, this has shattered not only her family and friends, it shattered the community.
Global News has obtained the parole board decision from Shea's hearing in March, when he was denied day parole before being released on mandatory statutory release in August. The parole board decision spells out the details of Shea's 3-year and 1-month sentence after he pleaded guilty to 2 counts of assault and 1 count of break and enter.
So he pled guilty to 2 counts of assault and breaking and entering is still considered in the realm of violence, because it takes a lot to just break in. You know what I'm saying? That's still in that realm. That's amazing. And that is the man who she was with while he was behind bars and waited for him to get home, only for him to end her life, unfortunately, in front of the very halfway house that he had to reside in. This is something else. Rest in peace to the loss, and condolences to the family. Children come first.
July of 2020, Shea threw a brick at an ex-girlfriend. The following month, after he was granted bail, he broke into another woman's home through a window and held a gun to her head before the homeowner struck him with a bat and he dropped the gun. Shea
Broke into it. No, so mind you, I'm hearing a pattern. I haven't heard anything with men yet. So we broke into a home with a woman. He didn't hold the, you know, he wasn't hit by a bat from a dude. He was hit by a bat from a woman. He didn't have a charge offing a dude, one of the residents at the halfway house. He offed the very woman who probably was having phone on his money on his books and everything else. I can assure you, she had him straight while he was in there to the best of her ability. Absolutely out of this world. Let's keep on going.
then pushed and choked the victim. Now, at the time of the first arrest, he was bound by a probation order and was not supposed to be within 100 meters of his ex-girlfriend. At sentencing, Shea was given a lifetime firearms prohibition.
They make things too accessible sometimes for people who just get released.
In March, the parole board said Shea was assessed as a moderate risk of violence towards an intimate partner.
Moderate, 2 counts of assault, broke into a woman's home. He had to get hit with a bat. And y'all call that moderate. I'm not going to throw color in there. I'll let you all throw in whatever you want to throw into this pot of gumbo bullsh. Because that's crazy to me right now. What?
In its rationale for the residency condition upon statutory release, the parole board wrote, "You have a history of unstable relationships, and you admit you do not respond well when relationships end. You have been violent in intimate partner relationships, and your use of substances increases your risk of reoffending." Correctional Services Canada said in a statement to Global News, protecting the safety and security of our communities remains the top priority for CSC. Statutory release is mandated by law for offenders to serve the final third of their sentence in the community under supervision, calling this a serious and tragic incident that will be thoroughly reviewed. Now, Alisha...
Now, mind you, I want to make this very clear as well. I mean, of course, there is a part of me saying to myself, yo, like, what was sis thinking? But she's not here. So, I mean, you know, maybe whoever else can try to rag on her for divesting, whatever it is, or being with the guy. But the fact is, she's not here to speak for herself. And I'm not going to be the one to speak ill on her name. And that's primarily where I am. So, definitely my take on this is not going to be of, see, these modern women, and I ain't got time for that on this one, and that's not where my heart is. All right, right now there's a child that lost their mother, so the last thing I want to think about is all of the rest of that other stuff. So let's keep on listening to this, and more than anything, this is for educational purposes as well as awareness to be spread. Let's rock out.
His friend friends who were here today setting up that flower memorial tell me it is really unclear if she knew everything about Aaron Shea's criminal past. Aaron Shea was, of course, arrested here at the scene on Sunday night. He remains in custody. He returns to court in the new year on January the 10th. Back to
So she may have not known about his criminal past. I don't believe that. Now, his crimes are against other black women as he has biracial children. His own child knows he is a criminal, and this is what they say about his past deeds. So she went to go visit him in a halfway house and unfortunately got cooked. This is some kind of Final Destination stuff because according to Facebook, she fought for hers.
My big bad, my God, motherfucker.
Did the system fail her, or did her lack of discernment and bad judgment? We can't even say ignored red flags. I mean, really, it's beyond red flags. That's blatant proof. Or do you say it's a combination of the two? With that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. Let's keep on listening, but very much so an interesting story. I'm going to look more into this, and whatever updates I can bring about this or more information, I definitely will. You all just stay tuned.
Better knuckle up, because I fight for mine.
So this
And unfortunately, in front of the halfway house, you wound up having to fight for your life, and you lost that one because of what he did to you, which is extremely unfortunate. This is why we need to be careful. This is why vigilance, this is why more awareness spreading. This is why actually people who really truly do advocate for this need to live and walk what it is that you talk. This is why the action behind what you preach and speak about is so important. It's very important. And with that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. Let's see what we got left.
jailbird was just running through black women, and Alisha just happened to be the unlucky one among the group of divestors. The problem with swirlers is that they refuse to talk about the dark side of IR dating. Non-black men use and reject black women like it's a sport. I know many black women who are ashamed of the mistreatment and degradation they endured while dating non-black men. I know black women who dated IR exclusively, never got a single marriage proposal, and are now in their 40s and 50s, single with no children. I also know black women who became baby mamas for non-black men who married other non-black women. Black women being used and mistreated by non-black men is not the exception, it is the rule. Non-black men hate black women as much as they hate black men. The only difference.
There's a lot of truth in what has just been spoken. Now, the thing about it is discernment. It comes down to that individual. It comes down to what is it that you're looking for, and how are you going about looking for it? And do you know yourself before you go even seek in the first place? A lot of these things are extremely important, because a lot of these things can possibly help incidents from like this not happening again. Unfortunately, if time serves me well, something like this will occur again. But maybe, just maybe, the numbers can come down. Maybe, just maybe, this video and many others can spread awareness so that somebody can think about something before they just jump and move. And with that being said, I digress. My mic is muted. Y'all have a wonderful evening.
Is that many heterosexual non-black men will use black women for sex if they can. White skin covers a multitude of sins. Divesting gone wrong.